All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It's that time of the week, folks. My key games for this upcoming weekend in the world of college football. I'm going to jump right ahead to Saturday because we got some big ones on the line this week. It starts with the Red River rivalry in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. You're going to have the 12th ranked Oklahoma Sooners getting it on with the third ranked team in the land. And I'm talking about the Texas Longhorns. This is the last Red River rivalry game for Oklahoma and Texas as members of the Big 12 as they are set to go to the SEC next year. Now, for Oklahoma, this is their first true test of the season as they've been mopping the floor with everyone so far. You look at quarterback Dylan Gabriel and what he's been doing, and then wide receiver Andrell Anthony. But I look at this Oklahoma defense led by linebacker Danny Stutzman, and I'm going to talk about him and some in this game because Stutzman will tackle anything in his area code. And that's going to be important because you look at the way that Texas can run the football with running back Jonathan Brooks, and you got to try to find a way to slow him down. And I guarantee you, during this contest, that both Brooks and Stutzman are going to get to know one another. But then the Sooners defense, 10 interceptions so far this season. Can they find a way to rattle Quinn Ewers and this Texas offense? Now, there are some people out there who feel that Texas might be the best team in the country, the way that they're playing so far. And a win here would definitely add to their growing resume. It's not just about Jonathan Brooks on offense as well. Keep an eye out for Xavier Worthy. I think what Oklahoma needs to do, because the Sooners are the underdog in this game. They're down 6.5 points. I'll tell you like this: Oklahoma, obviously, the crowd is going to be into the game. Half Oklahoma, half Texas. At the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. But I think what the Sooners definitely need to do, they need to go out there and score early, not just a field goal, a touchdown, to really get their folks into the contest, put the pressure on Texas, and allow their defense to pin their ears back and try to come after yours. Easier said than done. There's going to be plenty of emotion on the field Saturday afternoon, but when it's all said and done, I'm going to take Hook 'em Horns over Boomer Sooner by the score of 37-31. Now, a big one in the Big Ten is you have the Maryland Terrapins, who are undefeated, traveling to Columbus to take on the fourth-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And I talk about Maryland being undefeated. The Terrapins are 5-0, and nobody is talking about them. Talia Tagovailoa is off to a solid start at quarterback for the Terrapins. And Mike Loxley's team can run the football as well with Roman Hendy. 8 interceptions so far by this Maryland defense. And can they find a way to get to Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord? We've got to wait and see. But obviously, Ohio State has too much talent on the offensive side of the ball with Travion Henderson at running back, along with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka at wide receiver. Maryland is a 20-point underdog in this game. I don't think that enough people are giving Maryland credit. I'll also say this. I think that Kyle McCord got a lot of confidence after the the Notre Dame game. But nonetheless, Maryland is going to be game. Maryland is going to bring it. They're going to give Ohio State a battle. I'm going to take the Buckeyes to win, but they're going to have to work for it. I think Ohio State pulls away late and gets the 38-27 win. Now, in the SEC, a battle of ranked teams, as you're going to have the 23rd ranked LSU Tigers traveling to take on the 21st ranked Missouri Tigers. Now, the Bayou Bengals come into this contest favored by 5.5 points, but they got to try to find a way to get back on track after they lost that heartbreaker last week on the road to Ole Miss. Now, one thing is for sure, LSU is going to score points. The problem is their defense. Right now, LSU is 117th in the nation so far in defense. They've got to get going. They've got to make Missouri quarterback Brady Cook uncomfortable. They got to find a way to do it. You look at this Missouri offense with wide receiver Luther Burden and running back Cody Schrader. The last thing that LSU can allow Cook to do is get back there and get comfortable in that pocket. Now, we know what LSU has on offense with the likes of Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors, and they can definitely have some big plays against this Missouri defense. For LSU, I think we're going to see a different LSU team come Saturday afternoon because at the end of the day, a lot of people are starting to doubt what they can do defensively. And I think the Tigers, the LSU Tigers, that is, they want to try to go out there and make a statement early in this game against Missouri. And I think they do. And because of that, I'm going to take LSU on the road by the score of 34-24. Now, moving over to the Pac 12, you're going to have the 13th ranked Cougars out of Washington with their unblemished record, traveling to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to take on the UCLA Bruins. Now, for UCLA, they come into this contest favored by 3. They've also had an additional week to prepare for this contest after they lost a tough one in Salt Lake City to Utah. Now, for Cameron Ward, and this Washington State offense, can they find a way to navigate this tough Bruins defense, which is eighth in the nation? Layatu Latu on that defensive line can bring it. And if you let him get in a rhythm, he's going to be a problem for this Wazoo offense. Also, keep an eye out for UCLA quarterback Dante Moore. The youngster is improving in this Chip Kelly offense, and I think he can be a difference in this game. So, between Dante Moore and this UCLA defense, I'm going to take the Bruins at home by the score of 37-24. Now, getting back to the SEC, you're going to have the 11th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide traveling to College Station to take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. This is a crossroad game for both teams, and you know there's no love lost between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. Of course, the question is going to be, has Alabama turned the corner? I'll tell you like this. Ever since Nick Saban went back to Jalen Milroe at quarterback, this team has played better. The defense was already good. They're great now. Then on top of that, this offense has more life. And like I said, coming into the season, I thought that Milroe and this offense were going to progress and improve as the season went along. Not just that, Dallas Turner and this Alabama defense. This might be one of the best offenses that Alabama has faced so far this season with A&M and what they're doing. Max Johnson has taken over for Connor Wegman, and it's really not that much of a downside if you're from Texas A&M. As Mac Johnson, he's a veteran. Remember, he started off his career at LSU, and he's bringing it now at A&M. 20 sacks so far for this Texas A&M defense. Can they find a way to win first and second down and make Alabama's offense one-dimensional and make Jalen Milroe have to be a passer as opposed to a runner and the passer? We got to wait and see. Also, keep an eye out for A&M running back Le'Veon Moss. Will he be able to navigate that Alabama defense? We've got to wait and see. A big game. I think Alabama will improve as the season goes along. I think Texas A&M is going to improve as the season goes along. Already, Texas A&M is better at this point of the season now than what they were last year. But when it's all said and done, I'm going to give the Crimson Tide the slight edge on the road, 37-33. Now, staying in the Southeast Conference, you're going to have the 20th ranked Kentucky Wildcats traveling to Athens to take on the two-time defending national champions in the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia comes into this contest favored by 15, but should they be on upset alert? And the reason why I ask is you've seen their first two SEC games this year at home for South Carolina and then at Auburn last week. And they found themselves in deficits before they got it going. And the thing is this, it's not that Georgia's bad. It's just the fact that when you are the two-time defending champs and you haven't lost a game in so long, there's a bullseye on your back. Everybody they're gunning for you and they want to try to knock you off. So you look at this Kentucky team, and Kentucky's going to have to play a perfect game. And I say that because their quarterback, Devin Leary, has already thrown 5 interceptions so far this season. And now you're going up against that Georgia defense in their house. You have a slim to no margin of error. For Georgia and quarterback Carson Beck, can he find a way to get it going against this Kentucky defense? We got to wait and see. But nonetheless, he's got too much talent around him on offense with likes of Dejon Edwards at running back. And of course, the All-American Brock Bowers, who's probably going to be a top 10 pick in next spring's NFL draft. And when it's all said and done, Georgia is just a better team than Kentucky. And because of that, I'm going to take the Dogs at home by the score of 30-17. Now, Saturday night, you're going to have the 10th ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame traveling to take on the 25th ranked Louisville Cardinals. And for Notre Dame, they've made it a staple in recent weeks as far as having the nail biters. Lost a heartbreaker with 1 second left to Ohio State. Had the big comeback win on the road last week against an undefeated Duke team. This time around, they're going to take on an undefeated Louisville team. But I'm looking at this game right here. I'm looking at Louisville quarterback Jack Plummer. He's already thrown 6 interceptions this year, and he's going up against an Irish defense, that's 11th in the nation. Sam Hartman so far at quarterback for Notre Dame has been calm, cool, collected, and unflappable. And then I love the way that the Irish are running the football right now with Audric Estime. I think that Notre Dame defense and I think their ground game are going to be the differences in this contest. And because of that, I'm going to take the Irish on the road by the score of 34-20. And finally, in the Mountain West Conference, you're going to have the 24th ranked Fresno State Bulldogs traveling to take on the Wyoming Cowboys up in Laramie. Now, Fresno comes into this contest favored by 6, but you got two teams right here that have what it takes to win the Mountain West. And yes, they're set to meet Saturday night, but it would not surprise me to see both Fresno State and Wyoming get to the conference championship game. Quarterback Mikey Keene and Jet Tedford's offense has been solid, and also keep an eye out for wide receiver Eric Brooks. So far, you look at this Fresno State secondary led by Carlton Johnson. He already has 4 interceptions. But then I'm looking at Wyoming, and Wyoming's a tough team. They beat Texas Tech at home to begin the season. You look at linebacker Easton Gibbs as well as running back Harrison Whaley. They're going to have an impact in this game if Wyoming is going to protect their home turf. I think this is going to be a very good game. I'm still taking Fresno State to pull away late. They're going to have to work for it, as conference road games are never easy to come by as far as getting a victory. But I'm going to take Fresno State on the road by the score of 31-20. So, folks, those are my key games for this weekend in the world of college football. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Now, I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.